A werewolf romance written by Georgina Anderson. Prologue. What burns? I was 5 years old when I learned what burning flesh smells like. Don't look, Aurora. My mother's hand covers my eyes, but I can still see through her fingers, the way children always can when they shouldn't. The Omega Man is tied to the post in the pack square. He tried to run. They always try to run. Alpha Victor circles him like a predator playing with food. Let this be a lesson, he announces, his voice carrying across the silent crowd. Slaves who forget their place burn with their dreams. My mother's hand trembles. Her wolf is howling inside her. I can feel it through our bond, wild and desperate and caged. She wants to fight. To save him. To run. She does nothing. None of them do. The fire catches. The screaming starts. My mother's hand presses harder against my face, but she can't cover my ears. She can't stop the smell. She can't erase the sound of bones cracking in heat, or the way the other slaves stand perfectly still, watching, learning. This is what happens when you want freedom. Never forget this, my mother whispers, and I don't understand why she sounds angry instead of afraid. Never forget what they are. What they've taken, what they fear. I don't know what she means. Not then. I pull at her skirt. Mama, why doesn't anyone help him? Her hand tightens in my hair, almost painful. Because they broke us, little star. Broke us so thoroughly we forgot we were ever whole. What did he do wrong? He remembered. Her voice cracks. He remembered he was meant to be free. The screaming stops. The smell doesn't. Alpha Victor turns to address the crowd, and his eyes, cold, blue, empty of anything human, sweep across us like we're cattle. Less than cattle. When his gaze lands on my mother, she drops her head immediately, pulling me down with her. Let me see you bow, he commands. Every slave drops to their knees as one, including us. My mother's hand is shaking so badly I can hear her bones rattle. Victor smiles. Good. You remember your place. He walks away, and slowly, the crowd disperses. My mother stays on her knees long after everyone else has risen, her hand still gripping mine. Mama, they will come for you one day, she whispers, so quietly I almost miss it. When they do, don't fight. Don't run. Don't show them what you are. What am I? She looks at me then, and her eyes are full of tears and something else. Something that looks like fury. More than they could ever imagine. 2 years later, they burn her too. She breaks her own rule. She fights. She runs. And when they catch her, she shows them exactly what she is. A mother who would die before letting them touch her daughter again. I watch from the slave quarters, Garrett's hand over my mouth to muffle my screams. I watch her burn, and I don't understand why she's smiling through the flames. Why her last words are, remember, Aurora. Remember everything. But I don't remember. I don't remember anything except the taste of ash and the smell of my mother burning. 12 years later, chained in the same cell they used for her, hours from my own execution. I finally understand. They don't fear us because we're weak. They fear us because they know, deep down, what we really are. And I'm about to remember. Before we continue down this path of fire and freedom, I have to ask, where in the world has this story found you? Comment your location below. I'm always curious where Aurora's journey resonates most. And if you're ready to watch a broken slave girl become a queen, subscribe now. This is just the beginning, and the road ahead is filled with betrayal, romance, and revolution you won't want to miss. Now let's see what happens when Gray tears down that cell door. Chapter 1. The Last Dawn. The silver burns differently when you know you're going to die. I've worn these chains before. All slaves have. Punishment for working too slowly, for meeting an alpha's eyes, for breathing too loudly when a ranked wolf walks past. But those burns healed eventually. Omega healing is slow, pathetic, but it works. These chains aren't meant to heal. They're meant to scar. I press my forehead against the cold stone wall of the cell and try not to think about my mother. Try not to remember how she screamed. Try not to calculate how many hours I have left before I sound exactly the same. 3 hours. Maybe 4 if Victor is feeling theatrical. He usually is. The door scrapes open. I don't turn. Let them come. Let it be over. You really made a mess, little mouse. That voice. My chest tightens. I force myself to look. Garrett leans against the doorframe, arms crossed, that familiar crooked smile on his face. We grew up together. 2 slave children finding moments of laughter between the beatings. He taught me how to steal extra food from the kitchens. I taught him how to read using scraps of newspaper we'd find in the trash. He's the closest thing I've ever had to a friend. He's also wearing a guard's uniform now. They're saying you killed 3 ranked wolves with magic. He says the word like it tastes rotten. That you made light come out of your hands and burned them from the inside out. I don't answer. My throat is too dry, and what would I say? I don't know what happened. One moment Darius had his hands around my throat, tearing at my clothes, and the next there was light and screaming, and the smell of burning meat, and I couldn't stop it, couldn't control it, couldn't... Is it true? Garrett steps closer. Something in his voice makes my wolf stir, uneasy. I didn't mean to. The words crack on the way out. He was going to... I just wanted him to stop. Garrett's jaw tightens. For a moment, one fragile, desperate moment, I think he understands. That maybe he'll help me. We used to promise each other we'd escape together someday, when we were brave enough, strong enough. Then I see what he's holding. Wolfsbane. Enough to keep me weak, compliant. Enough to make sure I burn without fighting back. I'm sorry, Aurora. And the horrible thing is, he sounds like he means it. But they're giving freedom to whoever keeps you sedated until dawn. Real freedom. Papers. A rank. My stomach drops. Garrett, I have a little sister. His voice hardens, and he won't meet my eyes. She's 9, and if I don't take this chance, we'll both die as slaves. You understand that, don't you? You'd do the same. I do. Of course I do. That's what they've done to us. Turned our suffering into a competition, our survival into betrayal. Made us so desperate we'd sell each other for scraps of dignity. It doesn't make it hurt less when he grabs my arm. Don't, I whisper. Please, we can both run. I'll help you get your sister, and we'll... There is no wheel, he says, and his hand is shaking as he uncorks the vial. There's only survival. You know that better than anyone. The wolfsbane burns going in, liquid fire through my veins. My wolf howls and retreats, curling up small and terrified in the back of my mind. The connection severs like a rope snapping, leaving me hollowed out, almost human. Almost nothing. For what it's worth, Garrett says as my vision blurs, as my legs give out and I collapse to the stone floor. I hope it's quick. You deserve that much. He leaves me crumpled there, alone. Always alone. The stone is cold against my cheek. I can hear them outside, the pack gathering, excited. They love a good execution. Entertainment is rare in Ironmaw. Victor makes sure of it. Keep them bored and desperate, and they'll devour each other for the smallest scraps of pleasure. A slave burning is a festival. I close my eyes and try to find my wolf, but she's buried too deep, drowned in wolfsbane and fear. Without her, I'm just a broken girl in chains. Just meat, waiting for the fire. Never forget what they are, my mother's voice whispers through memory. What they've taken. What they fear. But I'm so tired of remembering. So tired of being afraid. So tired of surviving just to suffer another day. Maybe burning is mercy. Maybe footsteps. Different from the guards, lighter, purposeful. The scent hits me a moment later, wild and foreign. Pine and smoke and something electric that makes the hair on my arms stand up. Not pack, not slave. Rogue. My wolf stirs despite the wolfsbane, a weak whimper of warning that prickles down my spine. The cell door doesn't open. It explodes inward. Stone and iron shriek as something impossibly strong tears through them like paper. The sound is deafening in the small space. Dust and debris fill the air, choking me. Through the chaos, a figure steps into my cell. Tall, broad-shouldered, moving with the lethal grace of an apex predator. Eyes like molten gold cut through the darkness, finding me immediately. He's covered in scars. Claw marks across his face, one slicing through his eyebrow and down his cheek. Burn marks on his forearms. A warrior's body wrapped in violence and survival. And he's looking at me like I'm the answer to a question he's been asking for years. Aurora Ashbourne, he says, and his voice is smoke and gravel and something ancient. Daughter of the celestial bloodline, last heir to the Moonborn throne. I try to speak, but the wolfsbane has me paralyzed. My lips move uselessly. He crouches in front of me, and I see more scars, burn marks that look deliberately placed, torture marks, brands that have been carved over and made meaningless. He's been unmade and rebuilt in pain, just like me. You can die here as a slave, he says, his golden eyes never leaving mine. Burn for Victor's entertainment. Be forgotten like all the others. His hand extends toward me, rough and scarred and steady. Or you can come with me and learn what you really are. Outside, the first rays of dawn break the horizon. Golden light streams through the destroyed doorway. The execution bell begins to ring. Footsteps thunder down the corridor. Guards, lots of them, shouting orders. "Choose quickly, princess," the stranger says. "We're out of time." I can't move, can't speak. The wolfsbane has me locked in my own body, but I can move my eyes. I look at his hand, then at his face, and I blink once. Yes. Something flashes in his expression. Relief? Triumph? Before his face hardens into a warrior's mask. "This is going to hurt," he warns. Then he scoops me up like I weigh nothing, throwing me over his shoulder and runs. The guards appear in the doorway just as we reach it. 6 of them, armed with silver weapons, faces twisted in fury. The stranger, Gray, my wolf whispers his name somehow, Gray, doesn't slow down. He goes through them like a force of nature. I see it in flashes, bouncing against his shoulder, claws extending, ripping through armor, blood spraying across stone, a guard's throat opening in a red smile. Another thrown so hard he craters the wall. It takes him less than 10 seconds to kill all 6. Then we're moving again, faster, through corridors I've walked 1,000 times as a slave. Past the kitchens where I've scrubbed floors until my hands bled. Past the quarters where I've huddled with other Omegas, trying to keep warm. Past the great hall where Victor holds court and decides who lives, who dies, who suffers. We burst out into the dawn. The pack is gathered in the square. Hundreds of them, dressed in their best clothes, come to watch me burn. The pyre stands ready in the center, wood stacked high, torch already lit in Victor's hand. He sees us. His face twists with rage. "Stop them!" Wolves explode from the crowd, ranked warriors, faster and stronger than the guards. They come at us from all sides. Gray doesn't stop running. His body shifts mid-stride, bones breaking and reforming, fur erupting across skin. I'm suddenly clutched in the jaws of a massive silver wolf, held carefully despite the fangs pressing against my ribs. He's huge, bigger than any wolf I've ever seen. His fur gleams like moonlight, and power rolls off him in waves that make my bones ache. He's an alpha, a real one, and he's running like hell itself is chasing us. The pack wolves pursue, dozens of them, but Gray is faster, stronger. He tears through the forest like a silver bullet, leaping over fallen logs, crashing through undergrowth, putting distance between us and Ironmaw with every ground-eating stride. Behind us, Victor's howl of fury splits the dawn. The last thing I see before the wolfsbane drags me under is the forest canopy above, sunlight filtering through leaves, and Gray's golden eyes flicking back to check on me, making sure I'm still breathing, making sure he hasn't lost me. Then darkness takes me, and I fall into dreams of fire and ash and a voice calling me home. Chapter 2. Into the Wild. I wake to pain. Everything hurts. My wrists where the silver burned, my throat where Darius choked me, my muscles from the wolfsbane, my soul from Garrett's betrayal. Hurt is my constant companion. I know it better than I know my own name. But this hurt is different. This hurt comes with softness underneath me, warmth, the smell of pine and smoke and something cooking. I force my eyes open. I'm lying on a bedroll inside a small cave, a fire crackling near the entrance. The sun is high, noon, maybe later. I've lost hours, and standing at the cave mouth, silhouetted against the light, is Gray. He's in human form now, wearing dark pants and a shirt that's seen better days. His back is to me, but I can see the tension in his shoulders, the way he's scanning the forest like he's expecting an attack. Probably because he is. I try to sit up. My body screams in protest, and a whimper escapes before I can stop it. Gray turns instantly, crossing the space between us in 3 long strides. Don't move. The wolfsbane is still in your system. His voice is rough, but there's something careful in the way he crouches beside me. Like I might break. Like I matter. Who are you? I manage, my voice barely a whisper. Gray. He reaches for a water skin, lifting my head gently to help me drink. The water is cool and clean, nothing like the stale, recycled stuff we got in Ironmaw. I gulp it desperately. Easy, he murmurs, pulling it away before I can choke. Slow. Why did you save me? Something flickers across his face. Because I made a promise to someone a long time ago. And because you're the last hope we have. Hope for what? To end Victor. To free the enslaved packs. To restore what was stolen. He sets the water skin down, studying me with those unsettling gold eyes. You really don't know, do you? Don't know what you are? I shake my head, and the movement makes the world spin. Gray's jaw tightens. Your mother never told you. She told me to hide, to never fight back, to... My voice breaks. To survive. She was protecting you. He sits back on his heels. The celestial bloodline was hunted to extinction 17 years ago. Every man, woman, and child slaughtered in a single night. The pack lands burned. The Moonborn throne shattered. My heart pounds against my ribs. I don't understand. You were the only survivor. Your mother smuggled you out, hid you among the slaves where no one would think to look. And Omega is invisible. Powerless. His eyes bore into mine. Except you were never powerless, Aurora. You were just sleeping. The light. The explosion of power when Darius attacked me. The way 3 ranked wolves burned from the inside out. That was me. I whisper. I killed them. You defended yourself. Gray's voice is hard. And you showed Victor exactly what he's been afraid of for 17 years. That he didn't kill all of you. That the celestial bloodline survived. He'll come for me. He's already coming. Gray glances toward the cave entrance. We left a trail of bodies. He knows which direction we went. And he has trackers. Good ones. Fear claws up my throat. Then why are we sitting here? We should run. You can barely sit up. Gray cuts me off. And the wolfsbane needs another few hours to clear your system. If we run now, they'll catch us. And I can't fight off an entire pack while carrying you. So what do? We wait until you can shift. Then we run like hell and don't stop until we reach the Shadowlands. The Shadowlands? I've heard stories. Exiled wolves, rogues, lawless territory where pack rules don't apply. We'll die there. We'll die here if we stay. Gray stands, moving back to the cave entrance to keep watch. The Shadowlands are the only place Victor's pack won't follow, and I have allies there. The way he says allies makes it sound like a generous term. I force myself to sit up despite the pain. I need to see where I am, what I'm dealing with. The cave is small but defensible, tucked into a rocky hillside. The forest stretches out below, thick and green and endless. Beautiful. I've never been outside Ironmaw's territory. Never seen wild forest. Never breathed air that didn't taste like smoke and submission. How far did we come? I ask. 20 miles, maybe. Not far enough. Gray doesn't turn. Your wolf. Can you feel her? I reach inward tentatively. She's there, still weak from the wolfsbane, but present. Awake. Yes. Good. When I tell you to shift, don't hesitate. Don't think. Just do it. He pauses. You've shifted before? The question stings. Of course I have. How many times? I don't answer. Gray turns to look at me, and understanding crosses his face. Once? Twice? 3 times, I mutter. Slaves aren't allowed to shift. It's punishable by death. I've only done it when I absolutely had to hide. 3 times. He runs a hand through his dark hair, frustrated. Okay, we can work with that. I can do it, I insist, even though fear is crawling through my chest. I shifted when I was 12 to escape a guard. When I was 15 to avoid I stop. He doesn't need to know. And last year when the kitchens caught fire and I needed to move faster. Gray's face darkens. How old are you now? 19. So you've shifted 3 times in 7 years. He's calculating something, strategy playing out behind his eyes. Your wolf is strong, Aurora. I could feel her power when I first saw you, but she's untrained, unpracticed. I know, I snap, shame burning through me. I know I'm weak. I know I'm useless. You don't have to. You're not weak. His voice cuts through mine like a blade. You survived 17 years in hell. You survived torture and slavery and trauma that would have broken most wolves. You survived watching your mother burn and still found reasons to keep living. He crosses back to me, crouching down so we're eye level. Weak wolves don't survive what you've survived. They break. They quit. They die. I stare at him, something unfamiliar and painful swelling in my chest. No one has ever called me strong before. The power that killed those guards, Gray continues. That's just the beginning. Once we're safe, once I can train you properly, you'll learn what you're truly capable of, what your bloodline was meant to do. What was my bloodline meant to do? His smile is sharp. Rule. Before I can respond, Gray's head snaps toward the forest. His body goes rigid. What? Quiet. He's on his feet instantly, moving to the cave entrance in a predator's crouch. They're here. My heart stops. How many? 8. Maybe 10. He glances back at me. Can you shift? I reach for my wolf and she surges forward, desperate, ready despite the weakness. Yes. Then do it now. When I say run, you run. Don't look back. Don't fight. Just run north until you hit the river, then follow it west. You'll know the Shadowlands when you see them. The trees turn black, and the air tastes like ash. What about you? Gray shifts, bones breaking and reforming in a grotesque dance I've seen 1,000 times, but never this fast. Never this seamless. In seconds, the massive silver wolf stands before me again, lips pulled back from fangs the size of my fingers. I'll hold them off. Go. His voice in my mind. The alpha command. The pack bond I shouldn't be able to hear because I'm not his pack. I'm nothing. But I hear it clear as day. And I know he's going to die to save me. No, I whisper. Outside, the sounds of approaching wolves grow louder. Snarling, snapping branches. They're hunting. Gray growls, a sound that vibrates through my bones. Shift and run. Now! My wolf surges forward before I can think, and I let her. The change tears through me, painful because it always is, because I've done it so rarely, because my body fights it. Bones crack and reform. Skin splits and grows fur. My senses explode into hyper-awareness. And I'm smaller than Gray, my fur a dark russet compared to his silver. But I'm fast. I'm so fast. Run! Gray's command slams into me, but I don't run. Because through the trees, I see them. 10 wolves. All ranked warriors, bigger than me, trained killers. And leading them, a massive black wolf with ice-blue eyes. Victor. He sees me and his lips pull back in a vicious smile. He's come himself. He wants to watch me burn personally. Gray places himself between us, every muscle coiled to attack. Victor's laugh echoes in my mind, cruel and cold. Did you really think you could steal from me, rogue? She was never yours to own, Gray snarls back. Everything in Ironmaw is mine. Every wolf, every slave, every breath they take. Victor's eyes find me, pin me in place. Come back now, little Aurora, and I'll make your death quick. Fight, and I'll make you beg for it. Gray attacks. He hits Victor like a silver missile, fangs going for the throat. They collide in a tangle of fur and rage, rolling across the forest floor. The other wolves surge forward, and something inside me breaks. Not fear, not despair. Fury, pure, white-hot, incandescent rage. These wolves, this pack, they took everything from me. My mother, my childhood, my freedom. They beat me and starved me and made me small and afraid. They tried to burn me. Light explodes from my body, the same light that killed Darius, but stronger. So much stronger. It pours out of me in waves, burning silver white, and where it touches the attacking wolves, they scream. Not killing them. Not yet. But hurting them. Burning them. Forcing them back. Victor breaks away from Gray, staring at me with something I've never seen in his eyes before. Fear. What are you? He breathes. I don't know. I don't understand what's happening, don't understand how to control it. The light is pouring out of me like a flood, and I can't stop it. Can't. Gray's voice cuts through the chaos. Aurora. To me. Now. I run to him on instinct, and the moment I'm close enough, he grabs me by the scruff, gentle despite the violence around us, and throws me onto his back. Then he runs. Behind us, Victor's howl of rage shakes the trees. The pursuit begins again. But this time they're afraid. This time they know I'm not just a slave. I'm something else entirely. And Victor's reign of terror just met its end. Chapter 3. The Shadowlands. Gray runs for 3 hours straight. I cling to his back, my wolf form small enough to ride him like a horse, and watch the forest blur past. The pursuing wolves fall behind. Gray is faster, and whatever I did back there hurt them enough to slow them down. But they're still coming. I can hear them in the distance, howling coordinates to each other, refusing to give up. The trees begin to change. Green fades to gray, then to black. The bark looks burned, twisted. The air grows thick with the smell of ash and something else. Something old and wrong. The Shadowlands, Gray's voice rumbles in my mind. Hold on. He doesn't slow as we cross the border, where the living forest ends and the dead one begins. The moment we're across, the howling behind us stops. Victor's pack won't follow us here. Gray runs for another mile before finally slowing to a walk. His sides heave with exhaustion, his breathing labored. I slide off his back, shifting back to human form. It's easier this time, less painful. My wolf is getting stronger, or I'm just getting desperate. Gray shifts beside me, and I quickly avert my eyes. We're both naked, clothes destroyed in the shift. It should matter. Should be embarrassing. But after 17 years as a slave, modesty is a luxury I never had. There's a safe house half a mile ahead, Gray says, his voice rough. We'll rest there. Whose safe house? Mine. He starts walking and I follow, trying to ignore how my legs shake with exhaustion. The Shadowlands are eerily quiet. No birds, no insects, just the sound of our footsteps on dead leaves. What I did back there, I say quietly. The light. I don't know how. Celestial fire. Gray doesn't look back. Your bloodline's gift, the ability to burn with moonlight, to purify corruption, to break bonds and remake them. He pauses. To free slaves. My breath catches. I could free them? All of them? If you were trained. If you knew how to control it. Now he does look back, and his expression is unreadable. That's why Victor killed your family. Why he's terrified of you. You're not just a threat to him, Aurora. You're the end of everything he's built. We walk in silence for a while, my mind spinning. I could free them. Garrett's little sister. The kitchen workers who snuck me extra food. The Omega children who have never known anything but chains. All of them. Why did you save me? I ask again. You said you made a promise. To who? Gray stops walking. For a long moment he doesn't answer, and I think he won't. Then, your mother. My heart stops. You knew her? I knew her. His voice is quiet. 17 years ago, when the Celestial Pack fell, I was just a boy. My father was a general in Victor's army, one of the wolves who led the attack. Ice floods my veins. Your father killed my family? My father killed a lot of people. Gray's hands curl into fists. He believed Victor's lies, that the celestial bloodline was corrupted, dangerous, that they needed to be eliminated for the good of all wolves. But you didn't believe it. I was 12 years old. I believed what I was told. He starts walking again, faster now. Until I saw your mother. I follow, desperate for more. She was fighting, protecting someone. You, I realize now. My father had her cornered. I watched him. He stops, jaw tight. I watched him burn her, but before she died, she looked at me. This 12-year-old boy holding a torch. And she didn't curse me, didn't scream at me. What did she do? She smiled, and she said, one day you'll understand. One day you'll find her. Save her, and save yourself. Gray's voice cracks slightly. Then she died. Tears burn my eyes. That sounds like my mother. Forgiving even in death. Believing even in ashes. I didn't understand, Gray continues. Not for years. Not until my father turned on me, too. Exiled me for questioning orders. Branded me a traitor. He gestures to the scars covering his body. Gave me these to remember him by. I'm sorry. Don't be. He glances back and something fierce burns in his eyes. He made me into what I needed to be. A weapon against Victor. A wolf who understands that the only way to stop tyranny is to burn it to the ground. The safe house appears through the trees, a small cabin, half fallen but defensible. Gray pushes open the door and gestures me inside. It's sparse. A bed, a table, weapons mounted on the walls, swords, knives, things I don't have names for. This is a warrior's home, a killer's. Gray crosses to a chest in the corner, pulling out clothes. He tosses me a shirt and pants. Too big, but better than nothing. We dress in silence. What happens now? I ask. Now we train. I teach you to fight, to control your power, to be what your bloodline needs you to be. He buckles a knife to his belt. And then we go back. Back to Ironmaw, back to Victor. His smile is sharp and cold. You're going to challenge him, Aurora. You're going to take back your throne. And you're going to free every slave in his pack. Fear and something else. Hope. War in my chest. I don't know how. You'll learn. He crosses to me, and suddenly we're close. Too close. I can see every scar on his face, smell pine and smoke on his skin. Your mother believed you could do this, and I promised her I'd help you. Why keep a promise to a dead woman? His eyes meet mine, and the intensity there steals my breath. Because she was right. Saving you did save me. His hand lifts, hesitating before gently tucking a strand of hair behind my ear. You're the first thing I've believed in 17 years, Aurora. Don't make me regret it. Then he steps back, the moment broken. Rest. We start training at dawn. He leaves, closing the door behind him, and I'm alone in the cabin. I sit on the edge of the bed, trembling. Everything I thought I knew is a lie. I'm not just a slave. I'm a princess, an heir, a weapon, and somehow I'm supposed to save everyone. I lie back, staring at the ceiling, and for the first time in my life, I let myself imagine it. Walking into Ironmaw, not in chains, but in power. Seeing Victor's face when he realizes I'm not afraid anymore. Watching every collar break, every chain shatter. Freedom. For all of us. My wolf stirs inside me, and her voice is clear and strong. We can do this. Maybe we can. Maybe we will. Outside, Gray's shadow passes the window, standing guard, protecting me while I sleep. And despite everything, the fear, the pain, the impossible task ahead, I feel something I haven't felt in 12 years. Safe. Chapter 4. Lessons in Fire. Dawn comes too early. I wake to Gray pounding on the cabin door, his voice gruff and unyielding. Up, now. Every muscle in my body aches. The wolfsbane is gone, but the exhaustion remains. I drag myself out of bed, pulling on the borrowed clothes, and stumble outside. Gray is already in the clearing behind the cabin, shirtless despite the morning chill. His scarred torso gleams with sweat. He's been training for hours already. You're late, he says without looking at me. You didn't tell me what time. Dawn means dawn, not whenever you feel like waking up. Now he does look at me, and his eyes are hard. Victor's wolves don't sleep in. His trainers don't give warnings. If you want to survive, you need to be harder than they are. Irritation flares through my exhaustion. I've survived 17 years of hell. I think I know something about being hard. You know how to endure. He stalks toward me. That's not the same as knowing how to fight. Before I can respond, he attacks. Not with his full strength. I'd be dead, but fast enough that I barely dodge. His fist whistles past my face, and I stumble backward. Fight back, he orders. I don't know how. Then learn, quickly. He comes at me again. This time I try to block, but he sweeps my arm aside like it's nothing and taps my throat with 2 fingers. Dead, he says flatly. My temper ignites. This isn't fair. I've never been trained. Life isn't fair, princess. Victor won't care that you're untrained. His wolves will tear you apart in seconds if you don't know how to defend yourself. He attacks again and again. Each time I fail. Each time he calls out where he's killed me. Throat, heart, spine. By the 10th attempt, I'm furious and exhausted and ready to cry. Stop, I gasp. Please, just... Victor won't stop. Gray's voice is merciless. Darius didn't stop when you begged, did he? The memory hits like a fist. Darius's hands on my throat. His weight crushing me. The terror of knowing no one was coming to help. That's not fair, I whisper. None of this is fair. Gray's expression softens slightly. But you survived him, Aurora. You killed him with pure instinct and power you didn't know you had. Now I'm going to teach you to do it, with skill. He extends his hand. Again. I take it, let him pull me up. This time, don't think about what's fair. Think about what you want. What I want? To win, to survive, to never be helpless again. His eyes bore into mine. What do you want, Aurora? The answer comes instantly. To be free. To make them all free. I want to fight, I say. Then show me. He attacks, and this time I don't freeze. My wolf surges forward, lending me speed I didn't know I had. I duck under his strike and lash out with my own. He blocks it easily, but there's approval in his eyes. Better. Again. We train until the sun is high, and my body is screaming. Gray doesn't let up, doesn't give me mercy. Every time I fall, he makes me get up. Every time I fail, he makes me try again. Your power, he says during a brief water break. The celestial fire. Can you call it now? I close my eyes, reaching for that burning light inside me. It's there, flickering like a candle, but when I try to grasp it, it slips away. No, I admit. Only when I'm terrified or angry. That's common with untrained gifts. Your emotions trigger it, but you can't control it. Gray hands me the water skin. We need to fix that. Emotion-based power is unpredictable. Dangerous. How do I fix it? Practice, meditation, learning to find the power even when you're calm. He pauses. Your mother would have taught you this if she'd lived. The celestial bloodline has rituals, techniques passed down through generations. But those are lost now. Not entirely. Gray pulls something from his pocket, a small, worn journal. Your mother gave this to someone before she died. Someone who eventually gave it to me. My heart pounds as I take it. The leather cover is scarred and faded, but when I open it, my mother's handwriting fills the pages. For Aurora, when she's ready. Tears blur my vision. She knew, I whisper. She knew I'd survive. She hoped. Gray's voice is gentle, and she made sure you'd have the tools you needed when the time came. I clutch the journal to my chest, overwhelmed. Read it tonight, Gray says. Tomorrow we'll start applying what's inside. The days blur together. Gray is a relentless teacher. He wakes me before dawn, drills me in combat until my body is bruised and aching, then shifts to training my power. At night, I study my mother's journal by firelight, learning the meditations, the breathing techniques, the ways to call celestial fire without fear. It's slow, frustrating. I fail more than I succeed. But gradually, things begin to change. My blocks get faster. My strikes land more often. And one morning, during meditation, I manage to call a small flame of silver light to my palm and hold it there for 10 full seconds before it flickers out. Gray's rare smile when he sees it makes the exhaustion worth it. You're getting stronger, he says. And I am. I can feel it. My wolf is more present, more confident. My body is harder, quicker. Even my scars seem to hurt less. But it's not just the physical training that's changing me. It's Gray. We spend hours together every day, fighting, training, talking during the brief rest periods. I learn about his exile, his years in the Shadowlands, the wolves he's gathered here, other exiles, other rogues who want to see Victor fall. There are dozens of us, he says one evening as we sit by the fire. Wolves who've escaped Ironmaw or been cast out. Wolves who've lost family to Victor's purges. We've been waiting for someone who could unite us. You think I can do that? I think you're the only one who can. He pokes at the fire with a stick. You have the bloodline, the power, and more importantly, you understand what's at stake. You've lived in chains. You know what freedom means. I watch the flames dance, thinking of all those faces in Ironmaw. The slaves who watched my mother burn. Who would watch me burn? Who've been so broken they can't imagine anything else? What if they don't follow me? I ask quietly. What if they're too afraid? Then you show them there's something worth being brave for. Gray looks at me, firelight casting shadows across his scarred face. You survived, Aurora. You're proof that Victor can be beaten, that slaves can become queens. I'm not a queen. Not yet. His lips quirk in a half-smile. But you will be. The way he says it, with such certainty, such conviction, makes something warm bloom in my chest. I've never had someone believe in me like this. Never had someone look at me and see potential instead of weakness. Why do you care? I ask. Really? It can't just be a promise to my mother. Gray is quiet for a long time, staring into the fire. When my father exiled me, he finally says, he told me I was worthless, that I'd die alone and unmourned, that I'd never be anything but a failure and a traitor. He looks up, meeting my eyes. I've spent 17 years proving him wrong, building myself into a weapon, gathering allies, waiting for the moment I could strike back. Revenge. Justice, he corrects. There's a difference. Is there? Revenge is personal. Justice is for everyone. He leans forward, intense. I don't just want Victor dead, Aurora. I want his entire system destroyed. I want every slave collar broken, every pack that still practices slavery disbanded. I want to make sure what happened to you, to your mother, to me, never happens again. The passion in his voice sends shivers through me. That's why I care, he says quietly. Because you're not just a lost princess. You're the beginning of something bigger. A revolution. I swallow hard. That's a lot of pressure. Yes. He doesn't look away. Can you handle it? Can I? I think of my mother smiling through flames, of Garrett's betrayal, of Victor's cold blue eyes and all the wolves who've suffered under his rule. I have to, I say. That's not what I asked. I meet his gaze, let him see the determination burning inside me. Yes, I can handle it. Gray's smile is fierce and proud. Good. Because tomorrow we're going to push your power further than you've gone before. And it's going to hurt. Everything hurts. This will be different. He stands, offering me his hand. But if you survive it, you'll be ready. Ready for what? His eyes gleam in the firelight. To go home and take back what's yours. Chapter 5. Breaking Point. Gray wasn't lying. It does hurt. We're in a clearing deep in the Shadowlands, the dead trees forming a circle around us like witnesses. Gray has drawn symbols in the dirt, ancient marks from my mother's journal, runes that supposedly help channel celestial power. The problem with your fire, Gray explains, is that it only comes when you're in danger, when your emotions peak. That's reactive power. Useful for survival, useless for strategy. I nod, trying not to show my nervousness. So, we're going to rewire your response. He picks up a silver knife. We're going to put you in danger, trigger your power, and teach you to control it instead of letting it control you. My eyes lock on the knife. What are you going to do with that? Cut you. My wolf snarls inside me, hackles rising. Excuse me? Not deeply, not permanently. Gray's voice is calm, clinical, but enough to hurt, enough to trigger your defensive instincts and bring out your fire. That's insane. That's training. He moves toward me. Victor's wolves won't be gentle, Aurora. They'll hurt you, and you need to be able to fight back while you're in pain, while you're bleeding, while you're terrified. I back away. There has to be another way. There isn't. Not if you want to be ready in time. He stops, giving me space. I know you're scared. I know this sounds brutal, but I need you to trust me. Why should I? Because I'm the only one who can teach you this. Because you agreed to do whatever it takes. And because deep down, you know I'm right. I hate that he is. I hate that I've come this far only to balk at more pain. But I've spent my whole life hurting. The thought of volunteering for it, of letting someone cut me on purpose. I've been hurt enough, I whisper. Gray's expression softens. He sets the knife down and crosses to me, his movements slow and deliberate. I know, he says gently. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that your life has been nothing but pain and fear. I'm sorry that I have to ask you to endure more. His hand lifts, hovering near my face, asking permission. I nod, barely. He cups my cheek and his touch is so careful, so tender it makes my throat tight. But you're not that scared slave anymore, he murmurs. You're Aurora Ashbourne, last of the celestial bloodline, and you're going to burn brighter than Victor ever dreamed possible. What if I can't? You can. I've seen it. His thumb brushes across my cheekbone. You just need to believe it too. For a moment we stand there, his hand warm against my face, his golden eyes searching mine. Something passes between us, understanding, connection, something deeper that I don't have words for. Then he steps back and the warrior returns. So, are you ready? I take a shaky breath, squaring my shoulders. Yes. Gray retrieves the knife. We'll start small. Just enough to break the skin. Focus on the pain, then reach for your fire. Don't let it explode. Guide it. Shape it. Control it. He presses the blade against my forearm. Ready? I nod. He cuts. It's shallow, just like he promised. But it burns. Silver weapons hurt worse than normal blades, the metal searing through skin. My fire erupts instantly, pure reflex, wild and uncontrolled, blasting outward in a wave of silver light. Gray shields his eyes but doesn't move. Again. This time, control it. He cuts my other arm. The fire comes again, and I try to grab it, to shape it, but it slips through my mental grasp like water. Focus, Gray commands. It's yours. It obeys you. Make it listen. Cut. Fire. Fail. Cut. Fire. Fail. Again and again until my arms are covered in shallow wounds, and my whole body is shaking with exhaustion and pain and frustration. I can't, I finally scream. I can't do it. Yes, you can. No. Tears stream down my face. You're asking me to control something I don't understand. To be someone I'm not. I'm just a slave, Gray. I'm just a broken, useless... You are not useless! His shout cuts through mine, fierce and furious. You are not broken. You are not weak. And you are sure as hell not just a slave. He drops the knife, closing the distance between us in 2 strides. Look at me, he demands. I do, tears blurring my vision. You survived 17 years that would have killed anyone else. You endured torture and trauma and terror, and you're still standing. Still fighting. Still hoping. His hands grip my shoulders. That's not weakness, Aurora. That's the strongest thing I've ever seen. Then why can't I do this? My voice breaks. Because you're trying to control something born from pain by causing yourself more pain. That's not how celestial fire works. Gray's voice gentles. Your power isn't about suffering, Aurora. It's about freedom. About breaking chains, not forging new ones. I stare at him, understanding blooming slowly. So, how do I call it? Stop thinking about the pain. Think about what you're fighting for. Who you're fighting for. His eyes lock on mine. Think about the moment you break Victor's chains. The moment every slave in Ironmaw tastes freedom. Think about how that will feel. I close my eyes, letting the image fill my mind. Garrett's little sister, collar falling from her neck. The kitchen workers, standing tall for the first time. All of them, free. And me, standing before Victor, no longer afraid. The fire comes differently this time. Not an explosion. A bloom, like a flower opening inside my chest, warmth spreading outward in controlled waves. Silver light fills my palms, steady and bright, and mine. I open my eyes. Gray is staring at me, something like awe on his face. There she is, he breathes. There's the queen. The fire doesn't fade. I hold it, feeling its warmth, its power, its potential. It sings in my veins, and for the first time, I understand. This isn't a weapon. It's hope, made manifest. I feel it, I whisper. Good. Gray's smile is brilliant. Now let's see what you can really do. We train through the night. Gray pushes me harder than ever, but now that I've found the key, focusing on hope instead of fear, the power comes easier. I learn to shape it, direct it, use it in bursts instead of wild explosions. By dawn, I'm exhausted, but exhilarated. That's enough for tonight, Gray finally says. Rest. We have a long day tomorrow. What's tomorrow? We're meeting the others, the exiles I told you about. He helps me to my feet, his hand lingering in mine. It's time you met your army. My army. The word sounds surreal, They've been waiting for you, Aurora. For years. Some of them have been here since the massacre, hiding, surviving, hoping someone from the celestial bloodline survived. His thumb traces circles on my palm. You're the answer to prayers they stopped believing in. The weight of it settles on my shoulders, heavy, but not crushing. What if I disappoint them? You won't. Gray tugs me closer, and suddenly we're inches apart. I've seen what you're capable of. They will, too. His eyes drop to my lips, and my breath catches. Is he going to... A howl splits the night. Gray's head snaps up, his whole body going tense. That's the alarm. Someone's breached the perimeter. Victor? Maybe. Or worse. He releases me, already moving toward the cabin. Get inside. Bar the door. Don't come out until I say. I can fight. Not against what might be out there. He looks back, and his expression is grim. Some things in the Shadowlands are worse than Victor. Stay inside. Then he shifts and vanishes into the trees. I run to the cabin, my heart pounding. Through the window, I can see movement in the forest, shadows sliding between dead trees, too many to count. Whatever's out there, it's not alone. And Gray is facing it by himself. I should listen, should stay inside where it's safe. But I've spent my whole life hiding while others fought. Not anymore. I grab a knife from Gray's weapons cache, feeling my fire simmer just beneath my skin. Then I head out into the darkness. Whatever's out there, we're facing it together. Chapter 6. Shadows and Smoke. The Shadowlands are different at night. Darker. Colder. The dead trees seem to move when I'm not looking directly at them, and the air tastes like rot and old magic. I follow Gray's scent, pine and smoke, deeper into the forest, my wolf alert and anxious inside me. Every instinct screams at me to turn back, to hide, to survive. I keep walking. Through the trees ahead, I hear snarling, fighting. Gray's distinctive growl mixed with others, higher pitched, more vicious. I break into a run. The clearing I stumble into is chaos. Gray, in wolf form, is surrounded by 5 creatures that make my blood run cold. They look like wolves, but wrong. Corrupted. Their fur is patchy and rotting, their eyes glowing a sickly green, their jaws dripping with black ichor. Shadow beasts, I've heard stories. Wolves who stayed in the Shadowlands too long, who let the corruption seep into their bones until there was nothing left but hunger and madness. One of them has Gray pinned, teeth snapping toward his throat. I don't think. Silver fire erupts from my palms, and I throw it like a spear. It hits the shadow beast square in the chest. The creature shrieks, an awful, inhuman sound, and staggers back, its corrupted flesh burning with celestial light. Gray twists free, his golden eyes finding me immediately. Fury and relief war in his expression. I told you to stay inside. I don't take orders well, I shoot back, surprised I can communicate telepathically with him at all. The shadow beasts turn toward me as one, recognizing a new threat. Or a new meal. They charge. Gray intercepts 2 of them, a whirlwind of silver fur and lethal grace. But 3 are coming straight at me, and they're fast. Faster than Victor's wolves, driven by unnatural hunger. I plant my feet and call my fire. It comes instantly now, eager, responding to my will like it's been waiting for permission. I shape it into a barrier between me and the beasts, a wall of burning silver light. They hit it and shriek, their corrupted bodies unable to withstand the celestial flame. But they don't stop. They push through, burning, dying, too mindless to care. I pour more power into the barrier, sweat beading on my forehead. It's working. They're burning away. But there are so many, and I can feel my strength flagging. One breaks through. It lunges at me, jaws wide, that black ichor spraying. I try to dodge, but I'm too slow, too tired. Gray slams into it from the side, his fangs tearing into its throat. They roll past me in a tangle of fur and fury. The other beasts use the distraction to rush the weakened barrier. I'm going to die here. We both are. Unless, my mother's journal flashes through my mind, a passage about the Moonborn throne, about the ancient power of the celestial bloodline. In moments of greatest need, when all seems lost, the heir can call upon the full might of the moon itself. But beware, this power demands a price. I don't hesitate. I reach up toward the sliver of moon barely visible through the dead trees, and I pull. The world explodes in silver light. Power floods through me, massive, ancient, overwhelming. It's too much, too big for my body to contain, and I feel myself starting to crack under the pressure. But I hold on. I shape it, direct it, send it out in a devastating wave that sweeps across the clearing. Every shadow beast caught in its path simply ceases to exist, not burned, not destroyed, unmade. The light fades. I collapse to my knees, gasping, my vision swimming. The world tilts dangerously. Gray is beside me instantly, shifted back to human form, his hands on my face. Aurora, look at me. I try, but everything is spinning. What did you do? His voice is sharp with fear. What was that? Moon, Mother's journal, said... I can't form full sentences. The power is still crackling through me. Too big, too much. Price! What price? Aurora, what price? Darkness creeps in at the edges of my vision. The last thing I see is Gray's face, twisted with worry, and something else. Something that looks like, no, don't you dare leave me. His voice follows me down into the dark. I want to tell him I'm not leaving, that I'm just tired, that I'll wake up. But the darkness swallows the words, and I fall. I wake to arguing. Completely reckless. She could have died. She saved your life. A woman's voice, unfamiliar, sharp with irritation. Or would you prefer to be a shadow beast's dinner? I'd prefer she not burn herself out calling power she's not ready for. Then maybe you should have told her about the moon calling, about the price. Silence. Then Gray's voice quieter. I was going to. When she was stronger. When she could handle it. She's stronger than you think. She's breakable. They all are. I force my eyes open. I'm not breakable. Both voices fall silent. Gray appears above me, his face drawn with exhaustion and relief. You're awake. Thank the gods, you're awake. I'm in the cabin, on the bed. Someone has cleaned my wounds and dressed me in fresh clothes. A woman stands near the door, tall, lean, with silver-streaked black hair and eyes that gleam like amber. Who? Lyra, the woman says. I'm one of Gray's associates. I heard the alarm and came to help. Her lips quirk, though it seems you handled things before I arrived. I called the moon. The memory is hazy, dreamlike. It was a lot. The Moonborn throne's power isn't meant to be called by someone untrained, Lyra says bluntly. You're lucky you didn't burn out completely. As it is, you've been unconscious for 2 days. 2 days? I try to sit up. The room spins, but Gray's hands steady me. Easy. Your body is still recovering. We don't have time for me to recover. Victor is still gathering his forces, Lyra interrupts. We have scouts watching Ironmaw. He's being cautious now that he knows what you can do. He won't attack until he's sure he can win. Which gives us time to prepare. Gray helps me sit up properly, propping pillows behind me. Time for you to heal, to train properly, to meet the others and plan our assault. Others? Lyra's smile is sharp. Did you think it was just us? The exiles number in the hundreds, Aurora. Wolves from a dozen different packs, all waiting for someone who can unite them against Victor's empire. His empire? Ironmaw isn't his only pack, Gray says quietly. It's just the most brutal. He controls 7 packs across the region, all of them practicing slavery, all of them built on fear and violence. The scope of it makes my head spin. 7 packs! How are we supposed to? One at a time. Lyra crosses her arms. We start with Ironmaw. Free the slaves, kill Victor, break his center of power. The other packs will fall in line or fall apart. And you think the exiles will follow me? They already do. Gray's hand finds mine. Word has spread. A celestial heir returned from the dead. A girl who survived slavery and awakened her power. They're calling you the Moonborn Queen. I'm not a queen. Not yet, Lyra agrees. But you will be. If you survive what comes next. I look between them, seeing the belief in their eyes. The hope. It terrifies me. But it also strengthens me. What comes next? I ask. Gray and Lyra exchange a look. The exiles want to meet you, Gray says. All of them. Tomorrow night there's a gathering. They want to see the Moonborn Queen with their own eyes. To decide if they'll fight for you. A test, he confirms. If you can win them over, we'll have an army. If not, we face Victor alone. Lyra snorts. More likely we die alone. Victor has numbers. We need them too. No pressure, I mutter. Gray's thumb traces circles on my hand. I'll be with you. Every step. Why? I meet his eyes. Why do you care so much? And don't say it's just a promise to my mother. He's quiet for a long moment. Lyra makes a show of examining the weapons on the wall, giving us the illusion of privacy. When my father exiled me, Gray finally says, I thought my life was over. That I'd die alone in the Shadowlands, forgotten and unmourned. I spent years surviving but not living. Just existing. His eyes meet mine, and the intensity there steals my breath. Then I heard rumors. A celestial heir, hidden in plain sight. A girl who'd survived what no one thought she could. And I thought, maybe I was saved for a reason. Maybe all this pain, all this survival was leading to something. Leading to me. Leading to this. His hand tightens on mine. A chance to make everything I've endured mean something. To turn suffering into purpose. That's a lot to put on one person. I know. He smiles slightly. But you're not just one person, Aurora. You're hope. For everyone who's ever been broken and told they're worthless. You're proof that we can rise from ashes. Lyra clears her throat pointedly. As touching as this is, she needs rest. And we need to prepare for tomorrow. Gray nods, reluctantly releasing my hand. Rest. I'll be right outside if you need me. He leaves with Lyra, and I'm alone with my thoughts. Tomorrow I face an army of exiles. Tomorrow I have to convince them I'm worth following. Tomorrow I become a queen. Or I fail, and we all die. I lie back, staring at the ceiling, and wonder which terrifies me more. Chapter 7. The Gathering. They come at sunset, when the Shadowlands are at their darkest. I watch from the cabin window as they arrive, dozens of wolves, then hundreds, streaming through the dead forest toward a massive clearing I didn't know existed. They're all shapes and sizes, all colors, all ages. The only thing they have in common is the look in their eyes. Hunger, for justice, for revenge, for hope. Nervous? Gray appears behind me, close enough that I can feel his warmth. Terrified? Good. Fear keeps you sharp. He hands me something, a dress simple but beautiful, in deep midnight blue. Lyra found this. Thought you should look the part. The part of what? A queen. I take the dress, my hands trembling slightly. What if they don't accept me? What if I'm not enough? Gray turns me to face him, his hands on my shoulders. Then we fight anyway. Just you and me, and whoever else is crazy enough to follow. His smile is crooked. But they will accept you, Aurora, because you're exactly what they need. How can you be so sure? Because I've seen you. Seen what you've survived, what you've become. If that doesn't inspire them, nothing will. He leaves me to change, and I slip into the dress. It fits perfectly, hugging my curves, the fabric soft against skin that's only known rough slave clothes. When I look in the cracked mirror, I barely recognize myself. I look powerful. Lyra appears to do something with my hair, braiding it in an intricate pattern I've never seen before. Celestial tradition, she explains. Your mother wore her hair this way. The exiles will recognize it. You knew my mother? I knew of her. I was young when the massacre happened, but I remember the stories. Lyra's hands are gentle as she works. They said she could call down moonlight with a whisper, that she once freed an entire pack with nothing but her voice and her will. I'm not her. No, you're you. Lyra meets my eyes in the mirror, and that might be even better. When she's done, I look like someone from a dream, someone royal, someone who could lead an army. Gray knocks, and when I open the door, his expression shifts. His eyes darken, his breath catching slightly. Aurora. Too much? I touch the dress self-consciously. Perfect. His voice is rough. You look perfect. Heat rises in my cheeks. We should go. They're waiting. He offers his arm, and I take it, drawing strength from his solid presence beside me. We walk through the Shadowlands, toward the gathering, toward my fate. The clearing is massive, ringed by ancient standing stones that predate even the Shadowlands' corruption. Hundreds of wolves fill the space, all in human form, all watching as Gray and I enter. The silence is deafening. An older wolf steps forward, gray-haired, scarred, with eyes that have seen too much. I am Thorn, eldest of the exiles. We gather here to meet the one who claims celestial blood, the one who says she can free us. I don't claim anything, I say, my voice stronger than I feel. I am Aurora Ashbourne, daughter of Mara and Corvus Ashbourne, last of the celestial bloodline. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Prove it! Someone shouts. Show us your power. Show us you're worthy. Gray tenses beside me, but I step forward, alone. You want proof? I call out. Fine. I close my eyes, reaching for the fire inside me, but not wild this time. Controlled. Beautiful. I let it pour out slowly, silver light blooming from my skin like moonflowers opening. It spreads across the clearing in gentle waves, washing over every exile present. And where it touches them, something changes. Old wounds begin to heal. Pain fades. The corruption from the Shadowlands, the dark taint that clings to anyone who stays too long, burns away in silver fire. I'm not hurting them. I'm healing them. Gasps echo through the crowd. Some wolves drop to their knees, tears streaming down their faces as decades of pain simply disappear. When the light fades, I'm swaying on my feet, exhausted, but still standing. That's what the celestial bloodline does, I say into the stunned silence. We don't just destroy. We heal. We free. We make whole what's been broken. Thorn stares at me, something like wonder in his ancient eyes. The legends were true, he breathes. The Moonborn have returned. He drops to one knee. One by one, every exile in the clearing follows. Hundreds of wolves kneeling before me. We will follow you, Thorn declares. We will fight for you. We will die for you if we must. All we ask in return is that you break Victor's chains and give us back our freedom. My throat tightens with emotion. I can't promise we'll all survive, I say honestly. I can't promise this will be easy. Victor is strong and he has armies. But I promise I will fight with everything I have. I will not hide while you bleed. I will not command from safety while you face danger. I meet Thorn's eyes, then scan the crowd. I am one of you, a survivor, and together we will end this. Thorn rises, a fierce smile on his weathered face. Then let us begin. The clearing erupts in howls, not of grief or pain, but of hope and determination. We have our army. Now we just have to win. Chapter 8. Plans and Promises. The War Council meets in a cave system beneath the standing stones. It's me, Gray, Lyra, Thorn, and a handful of other exile leaders, warriors, strategists, wolves who've survived by being smart as well as strong. Maps cover every surface, showing Ironmaw's territory, Victor's defenses, the locations of the slave quarters. The challenge is the numbers, Lyra explains, pointing to marks on the map. Victor has 300 warriors. We have maybe 200 fighters, and many of them haven't seen real combat in years. We don't need to match his numbers, Gray counters. We need to be smarter, strike fast, hit hard, and use Aurora's power to break his slave bonds. Once the slaves are free, Victor loses his labor force and gains hundreds of enemies inside his own walls. Assuming the slaves fight, Thorn says quietly. Many of them have been broken. They may not be capable of resistance. I think of Garrett, of all the slaves who stood by and watched executions, who've been taught that survival means submission. They'll fight, I say, once they see it's possible, once they have hope. Hope is a fragile thing in Ironmaw, one of the other leaders says, a woman named Kira with a scar across her blind eye. Victor crushes it systematically. You'll need more than words to convince them. Then I'll show them. I meet her gaze. I'll walk into Ironmaw and break Victor's collar with my own hands. I'll burn every chain in that cursed pack, and I'll make sure every slave knows that freedom is possible. That's suicide, Kira says flatly. He'll kill you the moment you set foot in his territory. He'll try. I let fire flicker across my fingertips. Let him. Gray's hand covers mine, snuffing the flame. We're not sending you in alone, he says firmly. That's not a plan. That's a death wish. Then what do you suggest? The War Council argues for hours. Plans are proposed and discarded, attack routes mapped and abandoned. By the time the moon is high, we're no closer to a solution. Finally, Gray stands. There's only one way this works, he says. Aurora issues a formal challenge to Victor. Alpha to alpha. Single combat for leadership of Ironmaw. Silence. She's not an alpha, Thorn points out. She's celestial bloodline. By ancient law, that supersedes pack rank. She has the right to challenge. Gray looks at me. And if she wins, every wolf in Ironmaw has to accept her as their new alpha. Including the slaves, they'll be pack members, not property. And if she loses, she won't lose. How can you be so sure? Because I'll make sure she's ready. Gray's eyes burn with determination. We have time. Victor won't expect a challenge. He thinks Aurora is weak. We use that. Train her in secret, then strike when he's unprepared. How long do we have? I ask. 2 weeks, maybe 3. Lyra consults her notes. Victor's gathering allies from his other packs. When they arrive, we'll be too outnumbered to even attempt an assault. Then we have 3 weeks to turn Aurora into a warrior who can beat Victor in single combat. Gray's smile is sharp. Good thing I specialize in impossible training. The council agrees reluctantly. It's risky, but it's our best shot. As the meeting breaks up, Gray catches my arm. Walk with me. We leave the caves, emerging into the Shadowlands night. The dead trees cast strange shadows in the moonlight. You don't have to do this, Gray says quietly, challenging Victor. There are other ways. There aren't. I stop walking, turning to face him. You said it yourself. This is the only plan that works. That minimizes casualties. That gives the slaves a real chance at freedom. It also puts you in direct danger. I've been in danger my whole life. This is different. This is deliberately walking into the jaws of death. So train me not to die. I step closer. You said you could make me ready. Make me ready. Gray's jaw tightens. For a long moment he just stares at me, emotions warring across his face. Then he closes the distance between us, his hand cupping my cheek. If I lose you, his voice is rough. If he kills you, he won't. You can't know that. I know you won't let it happen. I cover his hand with mine. I trust you, Gray, completely. Something breaks in his expression. He leans forward, his forehead resting against mine. You shouldn't, he whispers. Everyone I've ever cared about has died. My mother, my pack, every friend I've made in these cursed lands. Then I'll be the first one who doesn't. He laughs, but it sounds broken. How are you so certain? Because I have you. Because I have an army. Because for the first time in my life, I'm not alone. I pull back enough to meet his eyes. Because I have something worth fighting for. What? Freedom. Justice. I pause. You. His breath catches. Aurora? I mean it. My heart pounds, but I force the words out. These past weeks with you, you've made me feel things I didn't think I was capable of. Hope. Strength. I swallow hard. Something more. You don't know what you're saying. You're grateful. I know exactly what I'm saying. I cut him off. And I know you feel it too. I see the way you look at me. The way you protect me. The way you believe in me. Even when I don't believe in myself. Gray's eyes search mine, desperate and afraid and wanting. If I let myself care about you, he says slowly, if I let myself want you the way I want to, and then I lose you, you won't lose me. You can't promise that. Then promise me something else. I reach up, my hand on his cheek now, mirroring his touch. Promise you'll fight for us. For this. For whatever this is between us. Aurora. Please. He closes his eyes, leaning into my touch. When he opens them again, the gold there is molten. I promise, he breathes. I promise I'll fight for you. With you. Always. Then he kisses me. It's not gentle. It's desperate and fierce and full of all the things we haven't said. His hands slide into my hair, cradling my head like I'm something precious. I kiss him back with everything I have, pouring all my fear and hope and newfound feelings into it. When we finally break apart, both breathing hard, Gray rests his forehead against mine again. 3 weeks, he murmurs. 3 weeks to train you, to prepare you, to make sure I don't lose you. 3 weeks, I agree. And then we go home. I smile against his lips, and I take back my throne. Chapter 9. The Crucible. Gray makes good on his promise. For 3 weeks he trains me harder than I've ever been trained. We start before dawn and don't stop until I collapse from exhaustion. Combat, strategy, power control. Everything I need to face Victor and win. The other exiles help. Lyra teaches me dirty fighting, the kind that has no rules, only survival. Thorn shares stories of the old celestial warriors, their techniques, their philosophy. Kira, despite her earlier skepticism, becomes my sparring partner, never holding back, always pushing me to be better. And through it all, Gray is there, encouraging, believing, loving me in ways he doesn't say out loud, but shows in every careful touch, every proud smile, every moment he puts my safety above everything else. We steal moments when we can, kisses in the dark, whispered conversations by firelight, promises of a future we both know might never come. But we don't talk about that. We focus on training. On the 3rd week, Gray takes me to a special place, a grove deep in the Shadowlands where the corruption hasn't touched. Green grass grows here, real and alive, and a pool of clear water reflects the moon. This is where the Celestial Pack performed their sacred rituals, Gray explains, where they crowned their leaders, where they connected with the moon's power. How do you know? Your mother told me. Before she died, she described this place, made me promise to bring you here when you were ready. I walk to the pool's edge, staring at my reflection. I look different now, stronger, fiercer. The scared slave girl is still there, in my eyes, but she's wrapped in power and purpose. Am I ready? I ask. Gray comes up behind me, his hands on my shoulders. You've always been ready, Aurora. You just needed to believe it. I'm still afraid. Good. Fear keeps you alive. His breath is warm against my ear. But don't let it control you. You control it. I turn in his arms, looking up at him. Promise me something. Anything. If I die tomorrow, you won't? If I do, I continue firmly, promise me you'll finish this. Free them all. Don't let my death be meaningless. Gray's jaw clenches. I promise. But you're not going to die. How can you be so sure? Because you're the strongest person I've ever met. Because you've survived things that should have killed you. Because you're a queen, Aurora. And queens don't fall to tyrants. He kisses me then, deep and claiming, like he's trying to imprint himself on my soul. When we break apart, he pulls something from his pocket, a silver pendant on a delicate chain. It's shaped like a crescent moon. This was your mother's, he says softly. She gave it to me before she died. Asked me to give it to you when you were ready to reclaim your throne. He fastens it around my neck, the metal cool against my skin. It's tradition, he explains. Every celestial heir wears it when they challenge for leadership. It's a symbol of who you are, what you represent. I touch the pendant, feeling the weight of history and hope. Thank you. Don't thank me yet. Thank me when this is over and you're sitting on your throne. Our throne, I correct. I'm not doing this alone. Something shifts in his expression. Hope and fear and love all tangled together. Our throne, he repeats. I like the sound of that. We spend the night in the grove, talking and planning and memorizing each other, because tomorrow everything changes. Tomorrow I challenge Victor. Tomorrow I become a queen. Or I die trying. Chapter 10. The Challenge. We approach Ironmaw at dawn. It's just me, Gray, and a small honor guard, enough to make it official. Not enough to seem like an invasion. The exiles wait in the forest, ready to attack if things go wrong. But they won't. They can't. Because I won't let them. The pack square is exactly as I remember. The post where my mother burned, the stones stained with blood and ash, the slave quarters visible in the distance. Victor sits on a throne-like chair, watching our approach with cold amusement. His warriors surround him, 300 strong, all armed and ready. We stop at the edge of the square. Well, Victor drawls, the little slave returns, and she's brought the rogue who stole her. His smile is cruel. Come to beg for mercy? I've come to challenge you, I call out, my voice steady. Alpha to alpha. Single combat for leadership of Ironmaw. Silence. Then Victor laughs, a horrible mocking sound. You? Challenge me? He stands descending from his throne. You're not an alpha slave. You're an omega, property. You have no right to challenge anyone. I am Aurora Ashbourne, daughter of Mara and Corvus, last heir of the celestial bloodline. I let fire flicker across my hands. By ancient law, I have every right. The laughter dies. Victor's eyes narrow, assessing. Around us, the pack murmurs. Some look confused. Others, the older ones, look terrified. They remember the celestial bloodline. They remember what we can do. The Celestials are dead, Victor says flatly. I made sure of it. You missed one. I step forward, power radiating from me. And now I'm here to take back what you stole. My pack, my people, my throne. This is absurd. Victor gestures to his warriors. Kill her. Kill them all. No one moves, because ancient law is absolute. A formal challenge once issued must be answered. Any alpha who refuses is considered a coward, unworthy of leadership. Victor knows this. His warriors know this. Slowly, fury darkening his face, Victor nods. Fine. I accept your challenge, little slave. He shifts, bones breaking, fur erupting, his wolf massive and black with those ice-blue eyes. And when I tear you apart, I'll make your rogue watch. Then I'll burn him too. Gray moves beside me, but I put a hand on his arm. I've got this. Aurora? Trust me. I see the war in his eyes, the desire to protect me, to fight for me, warring with his respect for my strength. My choice. Finally, he steps back. End him, he says simply. I shift. The change is smooth now, practiced. My russet wolf emerges, smaller than Victor but fast and strong and full of celestial fire. Victor circles me, assessing. You think you can beat me, little Omega? His voice in my mind is mocking. I've killed hundreds. You've killed 3, and that was an accident. I've survived 17 years of your torture. I shoot back. That makes me stronger than you'll ever be. He attacks, fast and brutal, going for my throat. I dodge, but barely. His fangs graze my shoulder, drawing blood. Pain explodes through me, but I use it, let it fuel my fire. Silver light erupts from my wounds, burning him where we touched. Victor yelps and backs off, surprised. What? I don't let him finish. I attack, using everything Gray taught me. Speed over strength, strategy over force. I'm smaller, so I'm faster. I dart in, bite, dart out. Each strike leaves burning celestial fire in its wake. Victor roars, frustrated. He's stronger, but strength doesn't matter if he can't hit me. The fight becomes a dance. Him lunging, me evading. Him trying to use his size to overpower me. Me using my speed to stay alive. But I'm getting tired. And Victor knows it. He changes tactics, stops chasing me. Waits. Running already? He mocks. Typical Omega. No stamina. I ignore the taunt, circling, looking for an opening. That's when I notice them. The slaves, watching from the quarters. Hundreds of them, pressed against the fence, eyes wide with disbelief. They're seeing an Omega fight an Alpha. Seeing me refuse to submit. Seeing proof that resistance is possible. Among them, I spot Garrett. His face is pale, shocked. Our eyes meet across the square, and I remember what Gray said. You're proof that we can rise from ashes. I stop running. Victor charges, thinking he's won. At the last second, I shift, back to human form in a flash. Something wolves aren't supposed to be able to do mid-fight, but I'm not just any wolf. Victor, caught off guard, can't adjust his trajectory. I grab his fur as he passes, using his momentum to swing myself onto his back. Then I call down the moon. Pure, celestial power floods through me, massive, ancient, burning. I channel it all into Victor, my hands pressed against his corrupted heart. He screams, a sound no wolf should be able to make, because I'm not just burning him. I'm purifying him. Every horrible thing he's done, every bond of slavery he's forged, every moment of cruelty, it all burns away in silver fire. And when the light fades, what's left isn't a powerful alpha. It's just a broken old wolf, small and weak and terrified. I shift back to wolf form, standing over him. Submit, I command. For a long moment, Victor stares up at me with those ice blue eyes, and I see the calculation. The desperate search for an escape. There isn't one. Slowly, he lowers his head, bares his throat. I submit. The pack square explodes with sound, gasps, shouts, howls of disbelief. I shift back to human form, naked and covered in blood and burns, but standing tall. I am Aurora Ashbourne, I call out, my voice carrying across the square. Alpha of Ironmaw, and my first act as your leader is this. Every slave collar will break, every bond will shatter, every wolf in this pack is free. I raise my hands and celestial fire pours out in waves, not burning, but liberating. It sweeps across the pack square, washing over every slave, and where it touches, their collars simply cease to exist, dissolve into ash and memory. The silence is deafening. Then, one by one, the newly freed wolves begin to cry. Some collapse to their knees, others howl, not in grief, but in joy. Children laugh, adults embrace. Years of suffering and submission crack open, revealing the hope beneath. Garrett is among them, his collar gone, his face wet with tears. He meets my eyes across the square, and he mouths, "Thank you." I nod. Then my legs give out, and I collapse. Gray catches me before I hit the ground, wrapping me in his arms. "You did it," he breathes against my hair. "You actually did it." "We did it," I correct, my voice weak but happy. "Together." Around us, the celebration continues. Free wolves dancing, singing, crying. The exile army emerging from the forest, joining their new pack. 200 years of slavery ended in a single morning. Gray kisses my temple. "Welcome home, my queen." I smile against his chest, exhaustion pulling me under. "Home," I murmur. "Finally." And for the first time in my life, I believe it. Chapter 11. Moonborn. I wake to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows. For a moment, panic seizes me. Where am I? Why am I not in the slave quarters? Did I miss my shift? Then memory floods back. The challenge. Victor's submission. Freedom. I sit up slowly, taking in my surroundings. I'm in a large bedroom, beautifully furnished, nothing like the cold stone cell I last remember. Soft sheets, real furniture, windows with actual glass. The Alpha's quarters. My quarters now. The door opens and Gray enters, carrying a tray of food. When he sees I'm awake, his face lights up. "You're up. Finally." "How long?" 2 days. You burned through a lot of power." He sets the tray on the bedside table, sitting on the edge of the bed. "How do you feel?" "Sore. Tired." I touch the pendant at my throat. My mother's moon, still there. Alive. His smile is soft. "Good. Because your pack needs you." "My pack." The words still sound surreal. "Come see." He helps me dress. Simple clothes, nothing fancy, because I'm still too weak for ceremony. Then he leads me to the window. Below, in what used to be the pack square, wolves work together to tear down the slave quarters. Free wolves and exiles side by side, laughing as they destroy the symbols of their oppression. Children run through the streets, playing. Families embrace. Freedom, made real. "It's not all perfect," Gray admits. "Some of Victor's loyalists fled. Others are adjusting. And the other packs he controlled are watching, waiting to see what you'll do." "What should I do?" "Whatever you think is right." He wraps an arm around my waist. "You're the Alpha now, the Moonborn Queen. Your word is law." I lean into him, watching my people, celebrate below. I want to visit the other packs, offer them the same choice, freedom or continued slavery. If they choose slavery, we'll free their slaves ourselves. That could mean war. Then we fight. I meet his eyes. I didn't survive all this just to let Victor's empire continue elsewhere. Every wolf deserves what we have now. Gray's smile is fierce and proud. Then we'll fight. Together. Together, I agree. There's a knock on the door. Lyra enters, looking harried but happy. "Sorry to interrupt, but there's a crowd gathering below. They want to see their new Alpha." Nerves flutter in my stomach. I don't know what to say to them. "The truth," Gray suggests. "It's worked so far." So I go. Gray and Lyra flank me as we descend into the square. The moment I appear, the crowd erupts in cheers. Hundreds of voices calling my name, crying with joy, pressing close. I climb onto a platform. Not a throne, not yet, but something to be seen from. The crowd quiets, waiting. I take a breath. "I know what it's like to be afraid," I begin. "To hurt, to feel powerless and small and worthless. I know because I was you, a slave, property, nothing." Murmurs of agreement ripple through the crowd. "But we're not nothing. We never were. Victor broke us because he feared what we could become. What we are." I let fire flicker across my hands, gentle, warm, not threatening. "We are wolves. We are strong. We are free." The cheers grow louder. This pack will be different. I continue. No slaves. No ranks based on birth. Everyone here will earn their place through action, not bloodline. Everyone will have a voice. Everyone will matter. What about Victor? Someone shouts. What happens to him? I look to where the former Alpha is being held, guarded by exiles. He looks small now, broken, pathetic. Victor will face trial. Every wolf he harmed will have the chance to testify. Justice will be served. I meet his eyes across the square. But we will not become what he was. We will not rule through fear and cruelty. We will be better. The crowd roars approval. I speak for a while longer, outlining plans, answering questions, learning names and stories. By the time I'm done, the sun is setting, and I'm exhausted, but happy. Gray catches me when I stumble, holding me steady. You're a natural, he murmurs. I had a good teacher. That night we gather in what will become the new pack hall. Me, Gray, Lyra, Thorn, Kira, and other leaders. We plan the future. How to integrate the exiles. How to approach the other packs. How to build something new from the ashes of the old. It's overwhelming, complicated, difficult. But for the first time it feels possible. When the meeting finally ends and we're alone, Gray pulls me close. What happens now? He asks. With us? I smile up at him. What do you want to happen? I want to stay by your side, fight with you, build this new world with you. He hesitates. If you'll have me. Gray. I cup his face, tracing the scars I've come to love. You saved me, trained me, believed in me when no one else did. You think I'd let you go now? His laugh is relieved. Just checking. Besides, I kiss him softly. Every queen needs a consort. He pulls back, eyes wide. Aurora? I'm serious. I can't do this alone. I don't want to do this alone. I meet his gaze steadily. Rule with me, Gray. Help me make this vision real. You're sure? More sure than I've ever been about anything. He kisses me then, deep and claiming and full of promise. When we finally break apart, he's smiling. Then yes, I'll rule with you, stand with you, love you. He rests his forehead against mine. Always. Always, I echo. Outside, the moon rises over Ironmaw, not red with blood, not hidden by smoke, but bright and clear and beautiful. A new moon for a new beginning. I am Aurora Ashbourne, last of the celestial bloodline, Moonborn Queen. I was a slave. Now I am free, and I will make sure everyone else is too. This is just the beginning. Epilogue, 6 months later. The Moonborn throne sits in a hall we built together. Ex-slaves and exiles, working side by side. It's not made of gold or jewels, but of simple wood carved with names. Every wolf who died in slavery. Every child who never knew freedom. Every resistance fighter who fell. We remember them all. I sit on this throne now, Gray at my side, as representatives from the 6 remaining packs kneel before us. One by one, they've come. Some peacefully, releasing their slaves and asking to join our alliance. Others we freed by force, their corrupt alphas exiled or imprisoned. Today, the last pack submits. We offer our loyalty, their alpha says, head bowed. Our pack, our strength, our future, in exchange for the freedom and prosperity you've brought to the others. I stand walking down to meet him at eye level. You offer loyalty. I offer something better. I help him to his feet. Partnership, equality, a voice in how we build this new world. His eyes shine with tears. You honor us, Moonborn Queen. Just Aurora, I correct gently. We're all equals now. The ceremony continues, binding the 7 packs into an alliance. Not an empire, but a coalition. Different packs, different strengths, united by common values. Freedom, justice, hope. When it's done, when the last vows are spoken and the last hands shaken, I return to the throne. Gray leans close. How does it feel? To have changed the world? I think about it. About the journey from that cold cell to this shining hall. About every scar, every tear, every moment of despair transformed into triumph. It feels like this is just the beginning, I say. And it is. There's still work to do. Packs to heal, systems to rebuild, a whole world to remake. But for the first time in centuries, wolves everywhere are free. And I'll spend the rest of my life making sure it stays that way. Gray takes my hand, intertwining our fingers. Together? He asks. I smile, squeezing back. Always. The moon shines through the hall's windows, bathing us all in silver light. And somewhere, I swear I hear my mother's voice. I'm proud of you, little star. You remembered who you were. I did, Mama. I remembered, and I became so much more. The end.